Welcome to the No Budget Indie Filmcast, where we dip into the independent film universe to highlight those little films that you might not have heard about elsewhere. Will you agree with our panel, or will our panel agree with each other? Tune in to find out. I am Milo Dennison, and with me, as always, is Claire Milan
Hello.
and Cathal Feeney.
Hello.
All right, this week we watched a film called Villian by Sparky Tehnsuko. It stars Bella Ramsey, who people would most likely know from The Last of Us or Game of Thrones. Basically, a very talented young actress that is in just about everything that people is talking about nowadays. So, how he managed to get her in this little short film, not too clear, but congratulations. It takes place in the countryside of an Iron Age Britain, where teenager Georgia makes the unwise decision to seek revenge on the dragon that torched her home and killed her mother. However, her mission is upended when she unexpectedly discovers a scaly child in the unfazed beast's lair. And that's pretty much it. It opens with kind of a nice dark shot, a little hut burning. We see the mom, what's implied to be the mom. She's got a ring on her finger. And then Bella's character the next day buries her, decides to go to the mountain to kill the dragon that killed her mom. Gets there, there's a little girl there that's got some scales on her arm. So it's kind of some kind of implication of relation to the dragon, I guess. And we do see the dragon a few times in some shots. And spoiler, I guess, because you kind of can't talk about the film without talking about what happens. Bella's character kills the dragon in what is got to be the easiest dragon slaying of all time out of any sci-fi fantasy movie. And then it kind of goes on to where then Bella has kind of like this scaly thing going on. So there's a lot of kind of subtext to the film of possibly like revenge upon revenge, or perhaps maybe when you touch a dragon, you turn into a dragon, or maybe like Bella's mom was a dragon, but the ring kept her from turning into a dragon. So now that she doesn't have the ring, she turns into a dragon. I don't really know. There's a lot of subtext. It's a very dark film. Cinematically, it's nice in regards to some of the shots, and it's a nice little CGI bit with the dragon and stuff. There's not a whole lot that happens here. And I think it's intentional on the director's part to leave a lot to the imagination of the viewer. I don't know if a lot of viewers are going to get it or not, or if it's worthwhile. Maybe we'll see. We'll see as our little discussion progresses.
I think she's obviously an amazing actor, and there is actually no dialogue in this. It's just an example of a film with no dialogue, which is extremely atmospheric. And I think it's the cinematography and the I don't know if the dragon must be CGI. The quality of that was absolutely amazing, and the fire and it kind of lacks story. That's the only thing that lets it down. I just thought I think it's something film you have to watch twice or three times to kind of get a sense of a story. And as you said, it was probably the quickest and easiest dragon slaying in I've ever seen. Because normally there'd be a bit of a fight or something, and it was a bit too easy. I did really enjoy the cinematography and the acting and the CGI dragon, but just the story just wasn't enough for me to kind of really get stuck into it.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch it 3 times. The first time I watched it, uh, it was a wasted experience because I tried watching it on my phone, and it was just too,
Okay.
I just couldn't make out anything. So I could hear this. It was like no dialogue and no pictures either. No, so I just hear this, yeah, screaming in the dragon head. So then I watched it again and again. So it is extremely well made, very atmospheric and so on. And it's a bit of a mystery too, because you are trying to pick it apart. What is happening? What's the story? What's the story here? And at one point I thought maybe she had she had set fire to the house at the start. I was like, oh yeah, that's the twist, but I don't think so in the end. So it's a film that kind of makes you, it makes you start thinking about it, which is never a bad thing. I will say, you did say sci-fi fantasy, but it's not a sci-fi, it's fantasy, isn't
Fantasy. Yeah, I shouldn't have said sci-fi there. Sorry, my
it?
bad. True, it is fantasy.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I probably nothing to do with the filmmaker, but it was the channel that came on was sci-fi, tune
That's
in
what's
for more sci-fi, but no sci-fi,
Yeah.
nothing to do with sci-fi. But it was short enough, so you're not thinking, oh God, what a waste of time that was. So it was a nice film.
Yeah, from a filmmaker's standpoint, I mean, there's certainly stuff to learn from here in regards to that you can make a simple film and you can get a big named actress like Bella to do it. It's pretty impressive as well that she liked it for some reason and decided to get involved. Um, I guess like part of it has to do with like for me though, like I do like a bit more story. I was thinking this is what I was going to say actually. This is why I was rambling there for a second. You mentioned we've all mentioned how there's no dialogue in it, and if you look at some of the comments, a few people left comments like, "How come I can't turn on the closed caption?" Or like, like,
Okay.
there's no subtitles, and it's like, and then you see people responding to that, and it's like because there's no dialogue.
And at the beginning, like when I rewatch it, like I pause the video at certain points, and she's building this like stone sort of monument, and when I looked at it, it looked like a couple hugging. So I don't know, is that sort of to her parents? Because I was wondering, what's the point of what, what's the meaning of this? Is maybe it was a grave, could have been a grave. Um, so do you have any like did you have any theories about what the story is about and what's
Mine,
happening?
yeah, so because the dragon obviously didn't fear the girl for some reason when she went into the dragon's lair. So maybe because I don't know, like, she has a sword and she has a shield, so maybe like the mother and possibly father, we don't know, but like you said, maybe there were two people buried there, were dragon slayers, and that's why the dragon killed the parents, and then the little girl went revenge on the dragon, but the dragon didn't view her as a threat because she's just a child, but
Mhm.
then turns out, or maybe she since she hugged the other girl who had the scales, then she smelled like a dragon because she was
Okay.
starting to turn scale herself. So
Mm.
then the dragon didn't view her as a threat because she smelled like a dragon as well, like a dragon baby. And so she's like, smells fine. But I'm still not going with the easy kill thing.
Mm. A bit too easy because you think a dragon would, even if they were friends,
Yeah.
defend itself. Yeah.
And it was like it's a big ass dragon and it's a sword, even if, like it's just that's it. It's like, like, come on.
Yeah. And a
Well,
sword
yeah, I
wouldn't
don't
kill a
know.
dragon probably like
Not
that.
not
It would
so
just
easily, at
nick
least.
it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. I mean, maybe it has a particularly vulnerable, spot on his neck or
Maybe the
her neck.
dragon was like dying, and this was like passing the torch to the new generation of dragons, the two little girls.
And what was the whole point of showing the ring? I mean, at one point I thought it was like some sort of protection, like a cross.
Yeah.
You army because I've got the
I thought it
ring.
was a baby's hand at first or a child's hand. So the ring made it like, okay, it's looks like a female hand. It's a mother if you look at it then. But at first it's like, oh, it's a little child's hand. So I think that was it.
See, I thought
Maybe.
showing the ring was like, look, I'm revenging my mother's death.
Yeah, that was
Mhm.
another interpretation. Yeah,
Mhm.
this is who I am. I'm here to seek vengeance. It was all a bit muddled. Seemingly, I mean, I did read some of the comments underneath, and the filmmaker, he's replying to someone. He said, "But the clues are there. He won't give it
Okay.
away, but he'll give some clues."
So
You know,
did you
in
get the
one
clues
way,
then when you watched it the third time, Carl?
Pardon?
Did you get all the clues then when you watched it the third time? No?
No, I didn't. No,
Mhm.
uh, I'm afraid I
Guess
didn't.
he needs to make his clues a bit more clear.
Yeah,
Although
maybe
sometimes I don't
maybe.
give bad about films like this, but like sometimes they're good to have films like this. You know, you enjoy them because you can debate them
Yeah.
and make your own
Exactly.
interpretation. So,
Yeah. So
That's
there is a story in this director's head as to what happened. And somebody mentioned as well that it's also, could be sort of symbolic of the cycle of violence. So that she seeks a vengeance, and that little girl who she's left behind will one day grow up, and in turn she will seek vengeance if she hasn't turned into a dragon.
Yeah,
But
I don't,
maybe,
that's the part I don't get is the turning into the dragon part, is the
yeah,
tipping the scales. Like, is it infectious? Is it that's how dragons are born? Maybe just from little girls that in this world, this fantasy world, they turn into dragons at some point somehow
yeah,
for some
yeah,
reason.
yeah, like that would seem to be
Mhm.
what the story is implying, that she will turn into a dragon.
Yeah,
Uh,
guess we got to wait for the sequel.
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a proof of concept
It could be.
type thing. But it was very well made. No,
Yeah,
Mm.
certainly.
I'll give it that.
Well, let's rate it then. Who wants to go first?
Okay.
I'm always giving people want to go first. Um, well, in terms of production, cinematography, and acting and everything, it was very good. And I suppose films don't necessarily have to tell you everything. Uh, so I will give it 3.5.
Very interesting. Yeah, so for me, obviously the cinematography and the CGI dragon was phenomenal. And the girl, Bella Ramsey is a terrific actress. It lacked story, that's the only thing, and very, very ambiguous. So I'm gonna give it 3.5 as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm with you, Claire. I mean, it looked great, great acting, but like and I'm fine with stories that leave a bit open to the interpretation, but I think it was trying to be too smart, especially if he's leaving comments like, "Oh, the clues are there. You dumbasses watching the film just don't get it." So sometimes when you try to be too smart with your lack of story, it kind of annoys me. But and then also the dragon kill. Like I just can't buy into that a dragon that's supposed to be so ferocious is so easy to kill. So I'm gonna go 3 stars on this one. And there you have it, Filmcast audience. It's called Villain, starring Bella Ramsey, and it's by Sparky Tehnsuko. So check it out. You can let us know what you think. You can leave a comment in this review, or if you want to reach us on social media, we are on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at No Budget Show. And until next time, we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.
But